Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey everyone, just doing a quickie check-in on some names here. We're going to look at WEED, APH, ACB, CRON, ITHUF, which is from the USMJ sector, which I highlighted in the video that I did last night, and then IPR, which I've mentioned a few times. So obviously a big day today for some names, bigger than others. We had the bullish reaction to the news that pension funds were going to be getting involved, and this is great timing for the bulls. We had that 27 bottom fishing play potential setup, and for me today, that my entry signal, I don't normally like when the opens are what break resistance. So we highlighted the clear lower high pattern on the hourly, and we broke that at the open. I don't like those artificial breaks because the market makers can do whatever they want to open the price where they want. But as soon as we consolidated, and we can even look at it on the 1 minute time frame, we consolidated, we chilled out for a little minute after the open, and then we hit a new high of the day. And that new high of the day is when I entered my position, and it was at 27.80. So here was 27.80. We pulled back, we established a support level, and then the new high of the day is when I entered my position. And then on the way up throughout the day, I scaled out 25% and then 25%, and then I swung half of my position into tomorrow, anticipating that we would get a strong close. And I anticipated that because the hourly time frame after the bull break initially, which was a significant bull break, we saw a very healthy consolidation, and it was a bull flag. So declining volume, just a brief pullback, inside bar bull break, and then continuation. We are overbought. If we gap up on the hourly time frame, we'll be a bit overextended. That's something to be aware of. The 15-minute time frame RSI was above 70 the vast majority of the day. But look at that bull volume into the close. That is very significant ramp up, and I would absolutely be surprised if we do not get a gap up tomorrow. So gap up strategy, some people will look to take profit on the gap up. Some people will try and see this move ride a little bit longer. But it's all about 31.46. And because right now we're in this long-term weekly equilibrium pattern, and we're in a similar pattern to SPY, but SPY is certainly more bearish. And that's encouraging for the bulls today. The fact that SPY was pretty darn bearish and dumped at the end of the day, and the bulls disregarded that. And of course, in my opinion, that's due to the news. So if that pension news didn't come out, I don't think we would have seen anything near the day we saw today. And it might have even been a red day. And that's because there is correlation to the overall market, but events like this, news events, can absolutely break that. So the must-hold support level now is $27 for the bulls to stay in full control, and breaking 31.46 would change this lower high pattern and break that resistance. And you could even, if you're a trend line kind of person, you could draw your trend line here and be watching us approach this downtrend resistance line. But for me, it's just the lower highs that I'm watching. So even with a gap up, it's all about 31.46. If we see another 5% kind of day tomorrow, let's see, 1% gives us 30 cents. So we need about a 5% day to break that resistance. So that's a pretty tall order to fill, considering we had a 10% day today. If volume's going to be the key early on. If we see big bull volume right away, we know that there's the potential for continuation. So for me personally, I will likely do the same thing and just scale out a little bit. Depending on the size of the gap usually determines how aggressive I am with profit taking. APH is the laggard, nowhere near the bullish action that we saw on WEED. Bulls are trying, but they still have no momentum after earnings. And APH for a while now has been very clearly leading the consolidation out of the big four. It's been the weakest of the big four. That has not changed. I would not be looking forward to playing it in a laggard situation. I would look to play the strongest names bullish and the weakest names bearish. And as of right now, there is nothing enticing about APH. We have our low on the weekly time frame, and this is the same scenario as ACB, trying to change the weekly trend of lower highs and lower lows. Now we're trying to form our higher low at 972. And the bulls need to break 1266. Again, another tall order to fill. Long way to go for the bulls to break that resistance and shift this weekly momentum. ACB, let's just start with the weekly because it's very similar, but we have a higher low forming here, and it's a little bit stronger. So we have our low of the pullback, high of the bounce, higher low, and the bulls have to break 919 to see a bull break. Aside from WEED, I am liking ACB the best right now. And you look at the week or the monthly time frame, and it's just a beautiful brief consolidation. Shouldn't say brief, but healthy. Look at the volume, look at the lower wicks, no red flags. So ACB on the daily time frame, a strong day as well, not as strong as WEED, but certainly stronger than APH. Resistance is 838 and then 880. And again, we need to see that continuation to break to a higher high. CRON is losing a bit of momentum, weakest of the few today. The earnings reaction not entirely bullish. We have to be cautious of this bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern. If we break this neckline of 657, that is a clear bear break. We try it again, where we would have our left shoulder, head, and right shoulder, and then lose the higher low pattern. I am not anticipating that to happen. I would be pretty surprised. Percentage-wise, we're well above that support level, but it's just something to be aware of and something to be keeping an eye out for. So we close near the low of the day, not seeing any of the love that the bulls saw today. And 856 is support. If that breaks, there's a lack of support under that level. That's why I currently like ACB a little bit more than CRON, as CRON saw that lackluster reaction to earnings. Highlighted ITHUF, and they don't have the CSE ticker IAN on TradingView here, but highlighted it in the video yesterday as one of the names I liked, and I chose this name to get in, and volume was the reason. I got in at 349 and 350 before resistance broke. Resistance was 354, and why I got in and why I was comfortable getting in before resistance is the volume. I could see very easily it was going to be a high volume day, and we did break resistance, so a bull flag, seeing continuation. And the next major resistance, and I call this major because if it gets cleared, we have a lot of upside room. I'm looking at 370, and after 370 is 415, so 10% move. And for IAN, the Canadian ticker, it's 470 that needs to break to see another move to the upside. So we're not too far off from all-time highs, which is why another reason that I'm interested here. If we head into 2019 and we're looking up at all-time highs, this is a low cap name that could be a big mover. They do have a lot of U.S. Assets, so that's definitely a factor as well. And the more the tide turns in the U.S., the more beneficial it will be to this name. IPR continuing to play this one as well. A lot of people have a lot of good points. If you're looking long-term, absolutely. I'm not looking long-term. For me, long-term is weeks and months. And if you're looking years, what's likely to happen with USMJ is we're not just going to go straight to legalization, obviously. There's going to be decriminalization. There's going to be rescheduling from Schedule 1 to Schedule 2, decriminalization, protections put in place to let the states do their own thing. And through all these steps, I do believe there is still a place for IIPR, but once the banking sector is opened up to freely and legally work with all of these grow operations and companies, that's when IIPR loses its value. So definitely keeping an eye out for shifting towards that direction. But again, I'm enticed by the proximity to the all-time high, and the fact that earnings are coming out could either be a catalyst or a rejection catalyst. We have an inside bar today. Support is 33.51. Resistance is 34.60. And it's just the potential of a cup and handle pattern here, which is why I'm staying interested. Unable to break the all-time high, healthy consolidation so far, and looking for that bull break. And we might have to wait for earnings to potentially see that catalyst for that bull break. But I am holding a position here as well. So I'm not going to be, I will sell this position on IIPR. If we do get the all-time high, I will scale out appropriately and lock in that profit. Again, I'm not holding this one for years. And just enjoying the Canadian MJ space and the MJ space in general, especially when crypto is boring. So I appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you soon.